Well, thank you, Amy. As she mentioned, I'm Vanessa Walsten, and this is Vanessa Bakken. And thank you for being here this morning. We're really excited to share our story about Farmented Foods. So, what is the difference in these two pairings? They look a little bit different, but they took the exact same amount of time, energy, soil nutrients, the same amount of water for the farmer to grow, but really they have the exact same nutrient content. But why don't we ever see this ugly one in the grocery store? It's because the grocery stores know that consumers don't want to purchase them. When given the choice of seeing these two on the shelf, we're always going to pick the normal looking one. And it's these little choices that we have every day that, we don't even see these. It's kind of behind the scene things that go on that we don't really realize, but they can have a big impact on the environment and our society and the economy. Thanks. Now you can really see the ugly carrots. So we live in a time where we have a lot of choices. And it's these choices that can have a big impact on, like I mentioned, the environment. As you see here in this diagram, every one of these items has little things that go on behind the scenes, from money to natural resources, time, and health. And it's these things that we keep in mind when we're shopping, and sometimes we forget about them too, because we're kind of wrapped up in looking for the cheapest price or the most convenient option, and it can get very overwhelming too when we're shopping and trying to know what to purchase. So one thing we've found is knowing these companies that support these things and shopping for those brands and supporting them and helping them kind of show the other producers that these are the things that are important to us. So choices are important, and if leveraged correctly, they can solve problems. And as entrepreneurs and business owners, it's our responsibility to help guide and influence our consumers and customers into focusing on these factors. We have the influence to help sway the way things are produced and the way things are purchased. So with Farmented Foods, we saw this problem. 40% of the food that we grow here in the United States is never eaten. It was a really big number for us when we found, and we realized that part of this is because of these ugly vegetables and excess crops that farmers sometimes end up with, and then the grocery stores or consumers don't want to purchase them, so they have all these vegetables laying around that go unused. So we worked with the farmer and we decided that we would purchase these ugly crops and excess vegetables first and foremost, and we would ferment them. And why did we choose fermentation? We could have just jarred it, which is a great preservation method, but we chose fermentation because it also adds a lot of nutritional value. So having a product that we feel not only helps the environment, but also increases the health of our customers made us even more excited about our product. Fermentation has been around for centuries to preserve food, and not until more recently have we really been discovering all these amazing health benefits that it has. From aiding in your digestion, to boosting your immune system, to having added enzymes and probiotics, and also improving your cognitive function. The list really just goes on if you start to look into it. But one of our favorite testimonies is from Vanessa's grandmother saying that her digestion has improved just by eating a little bit of our sauerkraut every day. So we really like that one.
So where did Farmented actually start? Well, it started in a class here at MSU. The class is called Farm to Market, and Vanessa and I were paired for our final project, along with our partner farmer, Dylan Strike. And we were tasked with creating a value-added product for Dylan, but we decided, let's take it one step further. And so we asked Dylan, what's a common problem that you see on your farm? And he said, well, there's a bunch of ugly produce that we can't sell in stores, and there's a bunch of crops that can be overproduced due to all of the variables that go into farming. And he said it's frustrating because they already put all that time, money, effort, and water into these crops just for them to be wasted or tilled back into the soil. So we were like, okay, we can help with that. And we decided to ferment them, like Vanessa was talking about. And when we presented our final project to the community at the end of the semester, we got a ton of really awesome feedback for our idea. And a lot of the farmers came up to us and said, look, this is something that could really help us. So we're like, well, why don't we try and see where this can take us? And it's taken us here. A year and a half later, we have 3 products, our dill sauerkraut, radish kimchi, and spicy carrot chips. But we definitely won't stop there. We want to create a recipe for every single commonly overproduced crop or ugly vegetable so we can have a greater impact on farmers and help them be more sustainable while also helping to solve this unnecessary food loss. One of the more fun problems Vanessa and I had was the realization that not everyone knows how to use fermented vegetables. And we've gotten really creative in the kitchen, and we incorporate these fermented goods into our everyday lives, into pretty much every single meal. So we wanted to share those with our customers. And we do that through social media and our newsletter, and the hope is for them to incorporate it into their everyday lives, as well as share the recipes that they find. Because the more our customers use it, the more brand awareness we receive, and the more other consumers will buy our products. It just means that the more ugly vegetables we can save. So over the past year and a half, Vanessa and I have been creating what Farmented is today. We did a lot of product testing, research, trials, and even with all of that data and validation, we were still extraordinarily nervous 5 months ago when we were at our first farmer's market. Neither Vanessa nor myself slept it all the night before. We were afraid that people weren't going to love and respond to fermented foods as much as we had. So we got to the market and people started trying it. And we started hearing those, oh wow, that's really good. Or like in Amy's case, oh, I don't like sauerkraut, but I'll try it. And then they end up buying a jar. And then they kept coming back, market after market, telling their family and their friends to come and try it. And there really has been no better product and idea validation than that for us. So we're going to continue to sell at these farmers markets as they allow that face-to-face interaction, but we've moved into wholesale as well. In these past 5 months that we've been selling, we have gotten into 4 different retail stores where they sell our jars, but we've also moved into restaurant and bigger wholesale quantities. We have 2 restaurants that currently use our products, which is really exciting. And these different ways allows us to have different avenues to sell our products to, again, save even more vegetables. But what we're really excited about is building a subscription-based infrastructure. We actually launched our subscription service this past Monday through our crowdfunding campaign. This really excites us because it allows consumers from anywhere in the United States to make that conscious decision to support a company by getting a subscription of Farmented, and also that means that we get to ship our products all over the world, or well, over the country, which is extraordinarily exciting because it just means more vegetables saved, which we're really excited about. So we did it through the local crowd on Monday, and our goal was to raise over $3,000 and just get as many subscriptions as possible. You know, we'd love to blow that goal out of the water. And through donating, you get a 3, 6, 12, or 1 month subscription of Farmented. And what's exciting about this and our farmers markets and our retail and our wholesale is the more avenues we have, the more people we can reach, and the more sustainable we can help farmers become. And so we want to show you guys our video for our local crowd page, because we think it really displays and describes why we're doing this and why it's so important.
40% of the food that we grow here in the United States is never eaten. On top of that,
If all of you guys check out our local crowd page and also share it with your networks. Vanessa and I's networks are only so large, and the more people that we can get exposed to our crowdfunding campaign and this subscription-based service, the more likely we are to blow our fundraising goals out of the water and really jumpstart our subscription service. So we ask again, what is the difference between these two carrots?
Nothing.
It's perception. And so perception is really the only thing that is, it's one of the big factors that is preventing us from having sustainable farming systems. And perception is exactly what Vanessa and I are trying to change. And we don't just want ugly carrots and ugly vegetables to become the norm. We want it to become a badge of honor. We want people to seek out these ugly vegetables and products made with ugly vegetables, so farmers no longer have to worry about the look of their products, because they know, and now consumers can know, that they are the exact same thing. And as entrepreneurs, we know it's important to have a product with a purpose. But as consumers, it's also just as important, but it is really difficult to find those products. How do you do it? Well, a big thing, it's not fun, but research. Researching the products that you buy, making sure that they align with your values. Yes, we would love food to be cheap and really sustainable, but that's not the case. Another thing that you can do is buy local. Buying local really supports our community. We are so lucky to live in Montana, where the support system for local products is so strong. But finally, it's sharing the products that you love and the companies that you support with your friends and family. We are far more likely as humans to trust our friends and our family than some random person on the internet. So when you find those products, shout it from the rooftops. Make sure people know, because that not only helps your friends and family find these products, but it also really, really supports those companies that are trying to make a difference. So thank you so much for coming this morning. We hope you help us #SaveTheVeggies, one ugly vegetable at a time. Please try our products. It's never too early for Farmented Foods, and we'd love to answer any and all questions you guys have. Yes.
Do you have anything in the works, since you are focusing on localized, where you could bring your jar back and have it refilled versus continue to?
Yeah, so we have chosen to use glass, which you can't recycle in Montana. So we are working on us being able to repurpose those jars. With fermentation, the vessels that it's kept in is extraordinarily important, because it pulls from it. And so glass, there's nothing to pull from, but plastic, there is. And so we don't want any of those chemicals to go into our products. So we are currently working on that. We have people come and bring their jars back to the farmers market.
I forgot who it is, but they are starting glass recycling, I think, within a few days. It's not like cost effective, but they want to do it partly just for these kind of sustainability values. So, there was a Chuck talk about it last month. Anyway, I had a question about the pricing. I would think that, maybe you could at least buy your raw veggies cheaper, because they wouldn't otherwise be sold, and, if you scale enough, couldn't this end up being actually cheaper than other conventional food preparations?
Yeah, absolutely. They're called second carrots. They are significantly, to an extent, cheaper than the normal ones. That we do buy all organic produce, so that does increase the cost some. But we do hope that with scalability will come less expensive produce, but we also want to make sure that it's profitable for the farmers as well. Yes.
Did you finish school?
Yes. I graduated last spring, and Vanessa actually just graduated a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. Congratulations. Thank you.
So
how many people do you employ, or do the two of you try to do most of it?
just us.
We do it all.
Yep, we do the producing, the packaging, the marketing, the recipe iterations. Vanessa graduated with a degree in sustainable food systems and bioenergy, and I graduated with a degree in business marketing. So we've got a pretty well-balanced team, which is awesome. But we hope to one day not have to do it all by ourselves.
We're getting there quickly. Yeah.
So it looks like your response on the local crowd fundraising site has been really great. Oh my God, I just forgot my question. And it looks like you're going to exceed your goal. So beyond the 3,000, that's your goal. I mean, is it just scaling the subscription service more, or is it other products? What are you thinking sort of beyond that goal?
Yeah, well, as soon as we reach that 3,000 goal, we're gonna make some announcements on what we'll do with the funding after that. We have a lot of ideas of things that will make our operation easier and things a little bit better for us, and also releasing new products.
We have a plan to release 2 new products this summer, which requires a lot of work and money to get different kinds of jars and labels and everything. And then we also hope to send our jars to a food authority so they can study it and give us an expiration date or a use by date and
Nutrition label and, yeah, so we'll use the funds for that as well.
yes.
As far as new products, like what are other vegetables that you are looking at doing, or like what can you do? Like what can anything be fermented? I don't know.
You can pretty much ferment anything, which is awesome. We have been working with a lot of the local organic farmers and just asking them, like, what vegetables do you see falling into these categories that you could provide us with? Even pest damage, there are excess crops and ugly vegetables. We want to talk about specific recipes we have.
Yeah, so another vegetable that commonly is deformed, or it can, like Vanessa said, get pest damage, which we can easily cut out, but consumers don't want to purchase, are tomatoes. And so we do have something in the works with tomatoes. You can maybe draw conclusions. But we'll be announcing that probably within the next month. And then another thing that we're doing, when we create our carrots, it's in a brine, and that brine is also fermented and it's packed full of probiotics. Vanessa actually just finished researching our products and the probiotic levels in them, which was really exciting. But we encourage people to consume that brine. You can just take a shot in the morning and it's great for your digestive system, but it's also super fun in cocktails and Bloody Marys. So this one really isn't a secret, we tell
This
everyone.
one's not a secret.
But we're gonna do a gut shot, and when we create the carrots, there's excess brine, and we take that to the farmer's market, use it for samples, but why not use that excess and create another product since it's really good and people love it, so.
Yeah, and just kind of showing people that the whole product can be used, like you don't even have to waste the food that's in a jar. And it tastes awesome.
Yeah.
What was your personal experiences with fermentation? Like, what did it take to get started with this?
Well, when we first started in the class, like Vanessa mentioned, we were just doing it in big mason jars and just trying different recipes and different ingredients, and that's kind of how we started with the business. Prior to that, I did it on my own for my own use and just similar mason jars and trying different recipes and kind of seeing what worked and what didn't, which pretty much everything does work. It's just mixing the right ingredients and getting the flavor that you want.
I had zero experience with fermented foods before this, and it was really fun because Vanessa has been fermenting stuff for so long that it was just this new experience for me. I got to learn a ton, and all of the research that's coming out was just super fascinating about the health benefits to fermented foods. And she would point out all the time, oh, well, this that you eat is fermented, or this is. So that was a really fun learning experience for me.
And now, as we've scaled up for the business, we use big ceramic crocks. So that was kind of fun for me. I've never had one myself. It was always just little tiny things in the kitchen. So seeing it on a large scale and how it all works is pretty fun.
Your story sounds fabulous so far. What are you worried about, or what do you think will be a big challenge coming up?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest challenges is it's just Vanessa and I. I currently have a full-time job. Vanessa has a job as well. She just graduated. We hope to both be doing this pretty much full-time by the end of the summer. But expanding is a big variable. I mean, fermenting these foods on this large scale, I mean, we can push out about 500 jars a month as where we stand. We hope to double that by the end of the summer. It's really labor intensive. And so finding easier solutions, bigger vessels to ferment in, and then distribution. We've been talking to some companies to distribute it for us. Currently we do it all ourselves. So those are some things that we've been really thinking about expanding. Yeah.
Who are some of the producers you're working with?
Here in Bozeman, we are working with Strike Farms, Terrapin Farms, and then up in Kalispell, Two Bear Farms has been a pretty big help. And they're really connected to the organic farming community, and he said that he's had a lot of interest from all the other farmers too. So as soon as we start to expand and people learn about us, we'll grow those farmer networks.
Something we've also talked about in the past is basically letting farmers bring, after farmers markets, there's a ton of vegetables that they don't sell, so letting them bring those excess crops to us right after the farmers market so we can purchase them. There's a lot of legwork and logistics around that, but that's something we also hope to do to allow any organic local farmer to bring their vegetables to one common place. Well, please try our products. Check out our crowdfunding campaign, and we'd love to talk to you guys more if you have any questions.
Thank you very much.